Four Midwest Guys presents Solo, a Star Wars story teaser trailer review.
Hello everybody and welcome to Four Midwest Guys presents Solo, a Star Wars story all teaser trailer review show. With me here today to help me break this down is Mr. Brian Eggebauer.
Hey, what's up, what's up?
What's going on, B?
Not much, man. I feel like we've been here before.
We have. This is actually a take two because we've experienced more computer problems. Last time we had my brother with me, but he couldn't make it this time. So it's just me and you. We're going to try this again, and hopefully this time, no glitches.
Knock on wood.
Let's see. Hopefully she can handle it. Easy, baby. Hold together.
Let's give her all she's got, Captain.
Wrong genre. Easy, baby. Hold together.
Yeah.
All right. Don't worry. She'll hold together.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine, see? Speaking of fine, where can you find this fine podcast? Well, I'll tell you where you can find it. You go to www.4midwestguys.com. That's your kind of your one-stop shop. That's everything's there. All of our podcasts are there. Our links to our social media are there. Facebook, Twitter, what am I forgetting? Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our iTunes, and as well as our Podbean as well. So everything is there. It's also listed on categorized on the top of the website. Or you can just watch it in chronological order as we post them on the blog page itself. So that is your one-stop shop, though, the 4midwestguys.com. If you're on Twitter, you can find us at the number 4 Midwest Guys. You can find Brian at EggZone. You can find me at BWilly1977. And Brian, we got Instagram kicking now?
Instagram, you can find us at @the_real_Inc. And typically I'll put up behind-the-scene photos of the podcast or whatnot, so you can get a little behind-the-scenes taste of what's going on here.
All right, excellent. All right, so yeah, it's all one-stop shop, so make sure you check us out there on the social media as well as the website. So that's definitely very important. All right, so just to explain the format real quick, what we're going to do is there were two teaser trailers. You had the one dropped during the Super Bowl, which is about 45 seconds. Okay. So we'll watch that. I took some screenshots, and we'll break that down by screenshot. Then we'll move on to the full teaser trailer, which was released the next day after the Super Bowl.
On Good Morning America.
Yep, we'll watch that trailer, and then same format. We'll go through it with some screenshots and talk about it until we're done.
So, okay, fantastic.
All right, great. So let's get it started here real quick. And we'll start right now with the 45-second Super Bowl clip. So the teaser to the teaser, if you will.
So you want to make a difference?
Yeah.
Trust me, you're going to love it.
I love that shot.
And which branch are you interested in joining?
I'm gonna be a pilot. That's best in the galaxy.
Christine Falcon. Space Dream.
Your name?
All right, so that was the first trailer. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to, that's actually part of the last scene of the next trailer. Apologies. Still working out some of the bugs here still. So here's the first shot of the teaser trailer, though. Or the teaser of the Super Bowl trailer. So I like this shot here, Brian. This shows the classic controls of the Millennium Falcon. Definitely has that New Hope style and feel to it, and the classic Falcon that we all love. The controls that when they were asked they asked Harrison Ford, how do you do it? Well, he said you just make shit up. So press a bunch of buttons and switches. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very generic. Mm-hmm. It definitely looks like something that was made in the 70s, actually. Like, when you look at the controls, like it looks like something that, like we would make at our house.
Right. If we were making a computer back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely has that whole New Hope style feel, and it obviously took great care to recreate. Obviously, though, it looks a lot nicer. It's not as beat up looking. Even the controls are look crisp and
Oh, it
new.
definitely just went through the car wash and got detailed.
Yeah, definitely. So, which we'll see much more of as we continue our scenes here. So next scene. Now this is interesting. I think we kind of came up with this is kind of, we feel like this is like maybe a Grand Central Station, waiting maybe for that train that we saw in the trailer, or maybe it could be a holding facility because of the gate in the background, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people just kind of
Yeah, it looks like
roaming about.
Yeah, it's either the Grand Central Station or maybe a spaceport of some kind.
That could be,
Or it could be the facility where everybody goes in to register to be part of the Empire.
the Empire, their recruiting facility. It would be. It's an interesting one if that's the case. That kind of paint. It does have that Empire kind of.
Like they were all drafted,
and now they're
in line.
showing up to
Which
go
one
off.
do you want to be part of?
Yeah, there you go. I didn't think about that. But yeah, so it's either a train station, I think, or like Brian said, it could definitely be like in a recruiting center, and the draftees are showing off to ship out, as it were, which would explain why they're stormtroopers kind of talking to people in line and stuff like that. So, all right. So let's move on to the next screen shot here. This is just kind of a close-up look of the main hub that we saw in Grand Central Station, Star Wars, or possibly the recruitment facility. And he looks like it's probably Han with an Imperial guy there in the middle. I don't know. What do you make of this one, Brian?
Yeah, it was hard to tell who was sitting down with. It's obviously somebody from the Empire who's sitting in this seat on the left.
Right.
But it's really hard to make out who was
Who's
sitting down with him.
With him, I'm assuming it's Han, but it could be somebody else. It's hard. It is hard to see in this shot.
But it definitely looks like it's just everyday. There doesn't look like anything special's happened. It's like every day going on behind it.
Behind
So
it.
You got stormtroopers walking around in the crowd and everything, like maybe on patrol or something.
Yeah. I know Aaron in our first take of this, he brought up the point that maybe they're sitting down to do as part of a distraction for the train heist, possibly kind of thing going on. So that's
that's right, because it's supposed to be the heist movie.
Yeah, it's a heist movie, so maybe this is just a distraction while they get on board or hustle them, hide themselves aboard or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So it's just a thought though. All right, next shot. This is the first shot we get of Han's speeder. Kind of boxy, not real glamorous from that side of things. Now, when you get to the top and we get to the next trailer, we'll see a little bit better shot of it. But But this definitely looks that used universe kind of feel from this shot, anyway.
Right, and we talked about it. It kind of almost looks like a precursor to Luke's speeder.
Oh yeah,
that we see on
yeah,
Tatooine. Yeah,
definitely does. And, it's kind of.
This one seems more boxy, it doesn't have the slick curves on it.
No curves. It's a muscle car, I think is what we were coming up with, a muscle speeder. Like he's got the muscle car of speeders. This is like your 1970 Chevy Nova or, one of those more classic cars, the gas guzzler. Also in the shot, looks like he's in some sort of heist of some kind with the other larger speeder next to him, like he's trying to run him off the road, maybe, or the other guy's trying to run him off the road, vice versa.
Or just run up next to him.
Right, to get in and steal something, maybe. So, all kinds of possibilities there. So let's move on. Next shot. Okay, so I took this shot just because I was wondering what we thought of. Does this look like some kind of stormtrooper, some sort of outfit, or are these actual droids of some kind?
Yeah, they look like maintenance droids.
Yeah.
When you look at them.
Yeah, I agree, because if you look down by the knee, it actually looks like the C-3PO kind of joint thing kicking. And they also look like they have antennas on the back of their heads. So.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, they're definitely repairing something or taking something apart. I'm not sure which, but kind of new, something cool. Anytime there's a new droid, I always like to kind of take pause and look and see what's up. Next scene. Okay, finally, we get the first look at the pristine Falcon.
So crazy.
It is nuts, because we're used to the yellow. I actually thought the Falcon was always beige and just had dirt on it, but apparently no, it was white at one time and just yellowed within 10 years. Because this takes place 10 years supposedly before we get to A New Hope, so we first see the Falcon. So no panels, no wires showing, hanging out, no pipes, if you will.
Fresh off the factory line.
Fresh off the factory line, it looks like, and the floor is pristine. I mean, in A New Hope, it was black and it was somewhat pristine, but nothing like that, like it's shiny. So, The question is, what has Han and Chewie done all these years to create such a mess out of something so beautiful? So
Right. The only thing I can think of is like going to the different planets.
yeah,
And like you get like the dust and everything else that blows up in there, and they don't really care.
or it could just be the one adventure after another, and one smuggling adventure after another. Who knows? So it takes its wear toll on the Falcon. Now here's one of the cooler scenes I love in both trailers. We kind of like this. Describe this as the space train, and it looks like it's two-sided. So you've got the top pods, and then it looks like the reverse on the bottom side. And I think Aaron pointed out he thought, or maybe it was you, Brian, that maybe it actually is twists and turns as it moves.
Yeah, the only thing I can think, I don't think it's going to go like
Upside
down.
Okay.
But it could be that the underneath side is luggage and the top side's people,
It could be.
Or
That's a good point.
or it could be class oriented, where the bottom is all the lower class people and the upper, all the upper class people are on the top.
Top up, so class divided.
Yep.
Yeah, I just love this concept because we've never seen it in Star Wars before. We've never seen a train in Star Wars because who would really need a train in Star Wars? But maybe in this case they do for whatever reason. And if you're going to have one, you got a floating track, a monorail track, and I could definitely see this being possibly used in the Disney, the new Star Wars theme park at some point.
Maybe that's why it's in this movie.
It's a good point. But definitely, it's a heist movie, so what better to do a heist on than a train?
Because we've never seen that before. Porks!
But like I said, train heist, right? Heist movie, Butch,
Yeah.
got a little Butch Cassidy, sometimes kid. It's a science experiment. Anyway, not a train whip. So here, next scene, it looks like we got Han or somebody on top fighting some sort of new villain. It looks like, but he's on top of the train, which is awesome, which is cool, which is very badass in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even in the westerns or anything else, or Mission Impossible or James Bond, any of those, anytime you have a scene on top of a train,
Yeah.
it's always like action packed because we know what a train is and how fast they can go, so we know the physical elements they're going through. Like when you're doing it in space and they're on a spacecraft, you're like, you can imagine what it'd be like, right?
Right.
But with a train,
It's relatable.
we relate to that. We know how fast a train can go. We've seen people
Right.
fly off of trains before and stuff. So
So
it's pretty cool.
So what better way than have a fight on top of the train with blasters? And in the next shot, though, we see that the bad guy actually looks like he may have some sort of a axe, kind of similar to maybe what we saw in The Force Awakens with their axes. They were going to cut off Finn and Rose's heads with, maybe something similar.
Yeah.
Going on a battle axe or something.
Yeah, we don't see it in this trailer. We see it in the other trailer.
Right.
But it does kind of resembles an axe. More so than what the one in with Poe and Rose.
Yeah.
That one looks more like a.
Slim down.
I want to say that one looks more like a cheese grater.
Yeah, this one looks like a chainsaw.
This one looks like more like an actual blade with like a outline of a lightsaber around it.
Right.
Whereas that one looked more like a cheese grater, like it had 2 points and it had a line that went through it and it could just slice your cheese really easily.
This is more the industrial strength model.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about this, we really get a good view of his helmet or mask here, or at least from the outer, like the out points, the points in the back. Kind of reminds me of like a warlord, like a tribal leader almost.
Yeah,
kind of meets a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I definitely see the tribal part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix. It's kind of like a Tusken Raider meets a bounty hunter meets a warlord of some kind. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see more. In fact, I think I got another comparison shot. Yeah. So you kind of see him swinging his axe, and he from his belt upwards in the middle, he almost looks kind of like Vader a little bit because you got like the belt and you got the straps and then you have the lights. Yeah. And with his cape on in the back, I guess he kind of looks like Vader. But I just thought of something. I wonder, because he seems to have that same, and this is really reaching because it just popped in my head. Do you think it's Lando? Because Lando's wearing that pimp.
No.
No. Okay. Maybe it's just me. I I don't.
I mean, I
don't think it would be either.
I mean,
but,
I could see where with the cape or coat. No,
Right.
I don't think so. I
You
just think it's because it's cold.
he's got it on.
Yeah,
it's just
on.
his part of his gear.
Yeah.
Looks similar. Okay. Speaking of Lando, there he is, Pimp Lando.
Lando.
I
All
love.
right now.
Well, hello. What do we have here? I love this. I love this whole attire of him. I like this whole shot of him. This kind of without him even saying anything. That's if I imagine Lando in a cold, rocky mountain environment. That's what I would think. You know, him wearing a straight up pimp suit. The only question I'm wondering is we see a lot of flashing going on during this scene. I'm wondering what he's watching. Is he watching the Falcon being built? Is he watch some sort of mining thing going on? You know, is it part of the train heist he's watching from afar? I don't know. Something.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that'd be my guess. He's either watching like some kind of repairs on the Falcon,
Yeah.
or he's watching something to do with that heist. Like, I think one of the later scenes, we actually see the box being pulled away on strings.
Yep.
So maybe that's where the box landed,
Yeah.
and they're trying to cut it open.
Okay. There you go. That's a very good point. And we will get to that scene later, actually. I got a screenshot of that as well. All right. So I love this shot. This is like Han looking up at his destiny kind of thing, or maybe it's the first time he lays eyes on the Falcon. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the first time he's going to captain the Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, that looks. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's like the first time you look at your first car, and you're just like,
Right.
yeah,
Like,
I can see myself in that.
that's his future. That's his destiny. That's who he's going to become. You know, kind of. You know, just a really cool. You got that foggy, almost. I don't know what you call it. Maybe like the Humphrey Bogart Maltese Falcon kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a mystic.
Yeah.
Mystery
kind of thing kicking. I love that scene though. Just one of the cooler scenes in the trailers for sure. So then next scene, here's our first look at a new droid. I think you comically believe that from this picture he looks like another droid we've seen before in another series.
Oh yeah, this definitely like this picture right here.
Yeah.
Looks very similar to like when we've seen like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I mean, if you look at it, the way that
What's his name? Alpha.
Yeah,
Alpha.
The way the head is shaped and everything else, it's very similar. But I mean, later on, the other pictures you have makes it look totally different than what this one does. But it's just funny because it's like,
yeah, because he's on the controls and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so here's our first look at
Chewie, use your Zord.
Power Rangers. Thank goodness you're here. Oh my, whatever he used to say. Anyway, next scene. This is what I kind of call the Star Wars supper club. It's not really a nightclub per se. It's more of a ritzy. You can tell by the people that are a little bit more dressed up. It's not really like a rave kind of club. If it is a club, it's more of a ritzy, upscale establishment.
Yeah,
Kind of
like
like
a social club.
Yeah, social club. Kind of like Canto Bight in a way, just with all the ritzy outfits and whatnot. Obviously, no gambling going on, but definitely kind of gives you that feel to me.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what's going on here? Maybe they're infiltrated their way in to, rip some people off. I don't know, meet somebody up. I could see Lando hanging out in a place like this too. So here's a close-up shot of our singer. Very interesting, different. She has a mic, and then she appears to have a mic on her face as well. I have auto-tunes, so I have a theory about that, and I'll get into that the next time in the next trailer. There's another shot. I'll explain what I'm thinking, but it does have something to do with our little green guy floating around in that liquid there. Mm-hmm. What do you think about it, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, from this, what it looks like to me is that she's singing through an auto-tune into that microphone.
Okay, like an amplifier or modulator or something.
Yeah, like and this is the first time we've seen this, so
yeah.
Just going off of that,
right.
It does seem that way. Now, if you look at the bottom of the green guy, just all the way to the right on the edge, I don't know why the Flash logo. Not really sure why.
Well, it's interesting you point that out. Now, back in the 1930s, they used to have microphones that looked a lot like that, and it had the little
with the Flash.
Yeah, like a electric in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible that he sings as well. Could be. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later. Coming up. So here's our first look at the Mother of Dragons, aka in this movie Kira which is spelled Q-I with the accent mark on the I, R-A. So it's Kira, but it's Q-I-R-A, Kira. Obviously stunningly beautiful as she always is, but this one she's her natural brunette color. No white hair kicking here. No Mother of Dragons. No Khaleesi. What do you think, Brian? Do you think she's going to work in this picture? Just from, first impression.
First impression, it was one of those, where do I know her from kind of things. And then I was like, oh yeah, I remember now that she was in this movie.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious to see if she can go away from us
thinking of her
as
as Khaleesi.
Khaleesi while we're watching this movie. Like, I really hope that she does, and she takes it away, and you're like, wow, she was really good in this. And I didn't think of her as Khaleesi once. You know what I mean? Because I really hate that when you see an actor in a movie, and that's all you can picture.
Is that
primary
primary character?
Yeah. I just happened to me today. I was watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and the bassist for the rival band, is actually Brandon Roth. So I'm thinking Superman or Adam from Legends.
Right.
The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, well, he wouldn't play a bass. Why would he play a bass? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm thinking of him as his current role that he has. So it's just funny.
Gotcha. That makes sense, and that's a good point too. Can she pull it off? Can we not see her face and not see Khaleesi? You know, and because that's a very iconic Game of Thrones character.
Yep.
So, all right. So here's our first look at Tobias Beckett, aka Woody Harrelson. Kind of looks like a smuggler. Kind of looks like a scoundrel. Maybe he's playing Han's mentor for good or for worse. I don't know. What do you think about him, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has that that smuggler type feel look to
Bravado,
him. Yeah, and he later on says, "I'm putting together a team." So you think that he is going to be like a team leader,
or the brains behind the operation.
But what kind of team is he putting together? Is he putting a team together so that he can get it and they get caught? Is he putting it together so, you know what I mean? Like,
right, for good or
for
bad?
Is he setting them up so that he comes out ahead? What is the deal here?
Is he conning them?
He also definitely still has his looks from Hunger Games.
Yeah, he definitely resembles that character.
Yeah,
here. So we'll see. I hope he's more of the scoundrel who's the nice guy, and maybe that's where Han learns to get his big heart from. I'm hoping, because I like Woody Harrelson a lot. But if he ends up being more the negative scoundrel, I think I'd be okay with that too, just for the story. All right, here's one of the cooler, if not the coolest scene in the trailer. Is obviously a Star Destroyer coming through a wormhole, coming through a nebula. Maybe it's part of the Kessel Run. I think it is, but I don't know. What do you think, Brian? I mean, obviously, it's that moment that makes you go, "Ooh, that's cool looking."
To me, it looks like the planet's covered in clouds.
Yeah.
And that Star Destroyer is breaking through that.
With its shields.
Breaking through those clouds. And as it comes through, it leaves that circle where you can see past it and it's all bright.
Gotcha. Or maybe it's just static electricity from it coming through the atmosphere.
Right. I think once it gets farther in, you'll see behind it close back up again.
Yeah.
But like you said, when we saw this the first time, it was like,
what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I was thinking, black holes in Star Wars? That was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh, that would be awesome. But who knows? Going along with that, this next scene, we get our first look at a new TIE fighter. I'll have a little bit more to say about this in the next trailer breakdown, but you can see it from this. It has not just the primary pilot pod, but it looks like it has an extra node on it off to the side. Some people think it might be a TIE bomber. TIE bombers are actually, the extra node is much bigger. It's more square looking, so this is obviously something else. So we have a new TIE fighter, which is awesome. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next review. But Brian, what do you think about the idea of a new TIE fighter showing up in Han?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always eager to see new vehicles, especially when we get space chases and battles and stuff.
Right.
It's one of the main things that I like to one of the things that I like to watch, even when we watch like Rebels.
Right.
Seeing new spaceships and everything else. So.
Right. New designs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Next shot. Obviously, I think it's the Falcon. Obviously, going probably through that same mist or whatever black hole. part of the Kessel Run. It's just a really iconic shot. We get to see the Falcon flying for the first time in the the Super Bowl's trailer. So
Yeah.
just really cool to see it. And obviously you can tell from the top it's got a little bit of that blue coloring and it's white. And it's the pristine Falcon.
Yeah, it
it's a
looks-
well taken care of
Yeah,
Falcon.
it looks like it's pre any kind of adventure.
Right, exactly. And he's like you said before, fresh off the assembly line, if it will. Here we go, and this is one of the last shots of the trailer, and it's just kind of shows the first real look of the Han Solo, the young Han Solo here. Kind of, I don't know whether he's looking through blinds or if he's looking through bars, like a jail cell, or if he's come up to a window.
I think it looks more. It's more like a porthole on a ship where they can just pull down the metal
The blinds,
yeah.
Or maybe he's looking out on the cityscape from an apartment. It's hard to tell. It kind of has that feel to it, like maybe the sun is setting or rising. I don't know. Hard to say. But it's our first real look at Han Solo in the face, really, in this whole trailer. So, but yeah, so we'll definitely see more of him to come here next little bit here. Okay, and final shot of the teaser trailer, the teaser to the teaser, the Super Bowl spot, is just a nice shot of Chewie from the backside, and he's just kind of patting Han on the back as they kind of look off into the distance of an ocean, it looks like. Obviously, what we all love is the dynamic between Han and Chewie, so, it's always good to see that, although Chewie looks a little bit younger here. He actually doesn't look, like the iconic darker Chewie kind of. He's almost like he has dreadlocks.
almost like it has highlights.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really cool to see. Obviously. Anything else, Brian?
Nope.
Before we close this one up?
No, I think we're good. Let's go to the next one.
All right. So we're going to move on from that. So that was the 45-second Super Bowl trailer spot. So now we're going to move on to what is the actual official teaser trailer. So let's watch that now.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
First time we heard him talk.
Yeah.
I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own.
I think that speeder chase would be awesome.
I'm gonna be a pilot. Best in the galaxy.
Hey, kid. I'm putting together a crew. You in?
That's yes.
That
There's
might
the
be the
supper
only
club.
person.
Nope.
Who knows
There it is. Awesome.
what you really are?
What's that?
That's so Han Solo. That's smart.
Get ready.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
No, you're not. That's badass. All right, so there's our look at the actual the full teaser trailer. Thoughts overall, Brian, on the teaser trailer as a whole?
I like that. I like that one better than the first one.
Yeah.
Some people don't. Some people like the first one a little better. This one, we got to see a little more of Han Solo.
We got to hear him talk a little bit.
Yeah, Aiden Albright. I mean, and it looks like he's going to do. Obviously he's going to do a fine job. They wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't going to do a fine job.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still torn if I'm really excited about this movie or not.
Yeah.
Because what happens if we really like this movie? Will they do a second Solo 2?
If there's enough time left in the timeline, it depends on where they end.
10 years, right? And then what we said?
Yeah. If they.
So there's plenty of time to do another Solo movie.
Depends on how much time they cover in the movie. If it's only a couple years, then yeah, they could do another one.
I bet they don't even cover a couple years.
Probably not. We'll see. It would be cool. I wouldn't mind it if this one's really good. Why not? So first screenshot I took from the second teaser. Obviously, it opens with him playing with the controls again. We already looked at that. So this was the first shot after that, and that's looks like somebody riding on a speeder bike there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of reminiscent to me of going all the way back to Phantom Menace, and I believe Darth Maul, he had an all black speeder that kind of looked like that from the back a little bit.
Yep.
So his speeder bike kind of looked like that. So hard to say it from this shot who exactly might be riding on it.
It looked like a trooper
yeah,
was on it chasing him. So whatever he's running from that trooper.
he's running from that trooper. So, but very cool. Like I said, I think this is going to be a really good scene in the movie. The whole speeder chase thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't think they've given away anything.
So you can see right there that
He's being chased.
he's being chased, and you can
Yeah.
tell it's a trooper
yeah.
on top of there.
And you can tell even from his expression that Han's not exactly having fun with this. He's putting all of his effort into his. He's concentrating on his piloting or driving the speeder, I should say. So then we come to the next part of the speeder race. And we get a nice, cool look at his console, and a lot of there's something iconic on there. If you look over off to his right side, you'll see that looks like the targeting computer from the Death Star. Same kind of shot. And some of the other instrumentation looks familiar to me. The round thing almost looks like Vader's targeting computer, kind of, sort of, in a way. Also, the steering wheel kind of looks Knight Rider-ish to me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see the Knight Rider-ish part of it.
Yeah, kind of feel.
Yeah.
So, a lot of cool stuff going on here, and I really kind of dig his speeder. Actually, it's kind of neat, the muscle car. And here we see it looks like the guy chasing him hits something, and it looks like that guy's in midair.
Yeah, he does like a forward triple flip, just like they did on Endor in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, with the speeder. That's a good point. I forgot about that, Brian. Yeah, good call. So here we go, and then this. I don't know if it's the same trooper.
That's
or
the same trooper hitting the ground.
Hitting the ground.
Yep.
As he's flying by him. So and you kind of look. Now, if you look in the background to me, and I'll bring up the next shot. To me, this kind of looks like this could be Corellia. Now, Corellia is Han's homeworld. So if he
Corellia's Waterworld.
Yeah, kind of. There's not. It's no longer canon. So the books that they wrote about it, we really don't know what Corellia looks like yet. So that since those are now non-canon books, so they're pretty much make it whatever they want.
Well, this is the first time I ever heard the name of that planet. So
Corellia, yeah. So, but here we also get a really cool shot of his speeder from the top side, and you can see from the top side it kind of has that cool looking blue to it. He's got a huge spoiler on the back of it. Looks like an engine, like a turbo engine, like fan on the top. So he's definitely got the muscle car, I think.
yeah, it kind of almost resembles like what you would think of like an airboat in Swamp People or something.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. That's a good comparison, in a way. Just a souped-up speeder, a kick-ass speeder. So let's see here. Next shot, and then this shows just him kind of doing the old Tokyo Drift scene with it. Again, pretty cool looking. I think we're gonna really enjoy this whole chase scene. I really do. I don't think this is just a very small portion of it. I think it probably goes through the entire town.
Right.
But so. All right, so next shot, and this is inside their speeder.
With Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones and David Hasselhoff makes an appearance.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff
as Michael Knight.
As they ride around in the mobile from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, the shaggin' wagon. Yeah, it looks like
the fringe around the windshield.
Fringe around the shield. Yeah. So you got the shaggin' wagon meets Michael Knight meets Jessica Jones.
In reality, it is Han Solo and Kira. Looks like driving this thing.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like Solo was undercover and he's wearing looks like part of a clone outfit, like part of
it's
a
like
trooper outfit.
official, outfit of some kind. One big thing to point out is in the middle between them there. That looks like those famous dice.
The flux capacitor.
The flux capacitor, yeah. That's what makes
hanging
time
hanging
travel
from where the
possible.
windshield, the rear mirror
Should be. It looks like we got those dice. Now they do look red, and in the Last Jedi, that it's gold as well as every other time we see it. So maybe it's just a different pair of dice, or it could just be a different reflection that we're seeing there of it. I don't know.
Be.
Either way, Han is apparently very likes dice.
Attached to those dice.
So he's obviously
he's a gambler.
He's the gambler / smuggler. So there it is. And also, kind of a cool shot of her too, real quick. The Jessica Jones look, as you like to call it. She does look like her there.
Yeah.
But obviously they're in cahoots together on something, or she's drug him along for the ride. I don't know, one of the two. All right, so here's our first look at that planet. And this is kind of interesting. This is like
Does Star Wars have flashbacks?
they do now. They did it in The Last Jedi. It was the first time.
Did they?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a flashback scene.
Of the
how-
speeder chase?
Yeah, of how Kiera and
Kira and Han
and
meet.
Han know each other. Why, when they meet at the supper club or whatever, and she says, "I know the real you," blah blah blah.
Right.
And she's talking about before when they got in trouble with whatever when he was driving that speeder.
When they were kids, kind
Yeah.
of thing. It could be. It's very possible. I don't know.
Maybe.
So this is cool. This is kind of like a large beach or dune meets the sea. Not the Dune Sea from Tatooine necessarily, but yeah, some sort of. I think the first time around when we went through this, Brian, I think he called that some sort of like a port facility, possibly.
Oh yeah, it kind
hanging
of
off
looked
there in the
like it looked
tower.
like a docking facility, like a ship would come in and dock right there on that looks, because it looks like there's a landing platform
Right.
or docking platform like we see in Cloud City.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's very possible. Could also be like a Star Wars version of a lighthouse, maybe.
Could be.
For the shore.
Yeah.
So we're definitely getting a different, some variety here. It could also still be Corellia as well because there's water there as well. But it's hard to say. But we're going to get some variety though because right now we know there's the snow world and now there's this world.
And we get water.
So, in typical Star Wars fashion, they're going to take us to different environments, different places, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So next scene up. So this is obviously where looks like Han's having a meeting with Tobias, aka Woody Harrelson, Tobias Beckett. So what's cool about this scene to me, and it might be hard for you guys to even see on this shot at home, but if you look real carefully and closely at these spirals, if you will, if you look close, it looks like there's some sort of hieroglyphics or there's some sort of etching in stone.
Oh yeah, on the spikes.
On the spikes or pillars. So yeah. I wonder if this is maybe the ruins of a Jedi temple or a Sith temple, or some other kind of temple. But it definitely kind of has like that feel to me. Something else, something old, something ancient, back in the day, kind of thing. It could just be spirals or spears that they don't even explain. But to me, the etchings almost look like the same Jedi etchings we've seen in Rebels on Lothal. So could very well be. So if you guys are familiar with Rebels, then you might pick up on that as well. Okay, so here's our gunslinger showdown at the OK Corral on the beach.
Definitely get the Western feel from this scene.
Oh yeah, very much so. So you see Han reaching for his, what I'm assuming is going to be his iconic blaster. And then obviously in the distance looks like that same guy we see on the train, probably with a bunch of his cohorts.
Yep.
Again, are these Tusken Raiders? Are they bounty hunters? Are they some sort of a mix between the two?
The Tusken Tagalong gang.
The Tusken Tagalong gang. Oh man. All right. So let's go on to the next scene because the next scene get a really good look at our what I'm going to consider as our prime villain, at least one of them. And here we get, this is where we were talking about earlier, you get a really good shot of not only his helmet, but you also get a good shot of his blade.
Right, which looks like a machete attached to a stick with a lightsaber blade going around it.
Yeah, and it kind of has like I said, like a chainsaw looking kind of feel with the covers on it and stuff.
It definitely has like it's been pieced together from different rusted pieces of metal.
Yeah. Holy rusted pieces of metal.
It's a Batman prop.
But yeah, and then you get a really good shot of his face and of his helmet anyway. And the eye guard reminds me of Kylo Ren a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the rest is just like pieced together, random pieces, like you said, of metal. It looks like if there was going to be a head Tusken Raider, like a chief, I'd almost picture him to look like that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
in a lot of ways.
It almost resembles like a wolf mask.
Yes, that's a good call, Brian. I hadn't really thought about that. So yeah, like a wolf, making him look like the head of the pack, the leader. Mm-hmm. And then the guys in the background look like that might actually be a wolf off to his one shoulder.
His one shoulder looks like a wolf, and the other one looks like it's like a Teletubby with fucking antlers.
Yeah. So, but Teletubby with antlers. Breaking new ground here on the on this podcast. So we got all kinds of different things. So what are they? Who are they? Why are they after Han? What's the?
And we have to wait till Memorial Day to find out.
Not sure, but I definitely am digging the villain so far, if nothing else. So, next shot. This is just a nice aerial shot of the probably where the train's at, the same planet. You know, you got the mountains, you got the snow and the clouds, and I think Brian, you thought it would be cool if they show the Falcon flying through that or something like
you
that.
see the Falcon fly up through that, just even to do a twist and then to go back down into it would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And this is what I kind of thought. I mean, it's too close for a Star Destroyer to come through that, but this is kind of what I thought. Like, see how it's all covered with clouds underneath, so it would be dark underneath, and then once it gets up the top, you can see the sun's out, so everything's bright.
Right, but underneath is that darker atmosphere.
Right. So it would make sense if the Star Destroyer was coming through there. The hole it leaves behind it, you'd be able to see this sunshine.
Light behind it.
Yeah, but you can't put a Star Destroyer through a mountain, so.
Right. So it's hard to say. It still could be that they're on a planet when they're doing all that too. It doesn't have to be in space of some kind.
Yep.
All right. So next shot again, and this is on the snow planet. It looks like it's Han just kind of wearing his winter garb, maybe just kind of getting prepared for whatever the next big job is, I'm guessing. Or maybe this is where he meets Tobias, and Tobias says he's putting a team together.
Right.
And this might be that same scene. Then here's our look at Chewbacca in the snow. And one big thing to notice is Chewbacca's not wearing his one garment across his whole body anymore. The whole
Chewie's wearing double.
He's wearing double. And it looks like and that thing he wears
they look the same.
in the rest of the Star Wars, to me, it doesn't look like weaponry to me. It looks like it's just like a decorative garment. Here, it looks like he's wearing almost like miniature grenades or something. And it's in that nice Mexican cross style. You know, I think Aaron brought that up. That it's kind of got that. You know.
And I wonder if he loses one of these in this movie, and that's why he goes the whole rest of the series with only one.
I wonder if it's some sort of Wookiee adornment too. I wonder if like a rank or honor, band or something that he wears, or.
So I'm gonna throw something out there real fast.
Sure.
Just throw it out there.
Okay.
So my thought is we've been talking like, how does Chewie give his life debt to Han?
To Han, yeah.
So my thought is, when they're doing whatever heist they're doing, Chewie gets one of those caught on something.
Okay.
Han cuts it.
Leaving
so that Chewie can get away.
Okay.
Right? And he leaves the other one behind, and that's how he gets his life debt, because if he would have got caught, he'd be dead.
Right.
But he got to get away, and he only has one left.
Ooh, that's an interesting little plot twist. Somebody called Lucasfilm. That should be in the movie. I like that idea. I like that theory a lot. So that's why he goes from the double to the single insignia. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. All right, moving on. Next. So when I first saw this in the trailer, because it goes by so quick, I was like, oh crap, it's Maz. Maz from, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. Maz, the orange, except she's not so orange looking here.
It looks like a young Maz.
Yeah, young Maz. But no, actually, it's a monkey, it looks like, with 4 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah, 6 appendages.
6 appendages total. With what looks like a classic
ski goggles.
Ski goggles from Hoth
Yeah.
and Empire Strikes Back on. So yeah, but it was kind of a big letdown when I realized that's not Maz. I was
You and
like,
me both.
man.
Like, I really thought, I was like, oh, we're gonna get to see why Han want to see Maz in Force Awakens, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get to see how they all met. Were they on the same crew? Her and Lando and Chewie, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be great. No, it was a monkey.
No, it's a monkey. Not to say she couldn't still be in this movie, and then maybe saving it.
Oh yeah, I'm you know what? I'm almost positive that she's gonna be in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I thought for sure they had that girl pegged to be in this movie. The girl that played Maz.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
she was on the cast for this movie.
I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, it would be sweet if she was.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I think this is I think this monkey is either driving the train itself that we saw in the Super Bowl trailer.
Well, I mean, that would explain how many lights are going. If you look behind it, how many
Right.
lights are going straight back.
Or it could also maybe be there's another ship that we're going to see in the next clip, and maybe he's driving that. So in fact, let's move on to that next clip. So here is, now this is interesting, and it's hard to see, especially if you're at home, but if you look at, obviously you see the ship, but if you look down at the mountain, right where the snow ends and the kind of
Right above the Chewie poster.
yeah, right above the Chewie poster, and where the snow ends, and it kind of looks like it just kind of the mountain kind of cuts off. Right there, there's a pod, and it looks like one of those pods from the train heist.
It either looks like a pod or some kind of container of some sort that's being that either was part of that transport or part of the train that got pulled away.
Yeah,
And then Brian, if you make it a V and you go up the other side,
yeah, the little blue speck there.
there's a bunch of them. There's like 7.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
There's 7 blue specks with what looks like wires that come down towards that pod, like they're pulling it away.
Like that, maybe they've taken it away from
Yes.
from Chewie and Han, maybe from Han themselves, and maybe they're being burglarized by the Sand people
And,
or
yeah, I mean those
tribal
that
Sand
could be the Tuskegon.
our Tuskegon warrior tribe or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, the Tusken Raider 2.0.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, but obviously, so maybe the monkey is driving that other ship as well.
it could be.
We'll find out. But next scene, though, definitely one thing we can definitely tell is it looks like that monkey is no longer the driver, and suddenly it looks like Han is now driving whatever that is himself, and he's having a hard time because the man only has
2 arms.
two arms
4.
instead of 4 and 2 legs, so he's missing 2 appendages to drive the thing, and it looks like he's struggling
Yep.
quite a bit.
Mhm.
So then next scene, we go back to that same ship, and it looks like something has exploded in the background and it's escaping. Really cool shot, of the mountains and the lighting and everything. It almost looks like a world in the background, really.
Like a moon.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking.
Yep.
And then the only other thought I might have about that ship is I wonder if that could possibly be Han's first ship. Maybe he ever owned before
maybe
the Falcon.
Well, maybe it's Tobias' ship.
That could be too. Yeah.
Maybe it's Tobias' ship that
Yeah.
they're doing their
Heist
Yeah,
with.
their heist with.
That's cool. That's a good idea. I like that idea. So let's. Okay, I'm not sure who she is, other than she looks like a badass sniper. With from the 70s. Brian, I'll let you look that up while I talk about it. But she's definitely got. Looks like she's got some skills. She looks like somebody you don't want to mess with. She's definitely the more badass version of Foxy Brown from Austin Powers. But yeah, she's she's probably part of the heist crew. I would think. I think she's probably working with Han, with Lando. I would think. Just speculating here, kind of wildly and reaching probably too. But you can see in the background though, she's definitely in the snow gear, and you can also see the snow in the background. So she's definitely part of I would think part of that train heist that's going to go down. That we're fairly sure is going to happen. So, any luck? Find her? No. So, if we find out, we'll go back to her. But
I might have her here.
oh, okay. What do you got there?
So it looks like her name is Val.
Val. Okay.
Yep, that's all I got is Val.
Val. Okay. All right. So that's Val, the sniper, or Val, the kick-ass 70s girl.
And I think that our villain's name is going to be Dryden Voss,
Ooh, really? I like that name.
played by Paul Bettany.
Oh, okay.
Who you know who that is, right?
No, a name sounds familiar, but I can't place a face.
So Paul Bettany is also the guy from the Avengers. He plays fuck. What is his name? The guy that flies and has a Mind Stone.
Oh, you mean Vision?
Vision.
Really?
Mhm.
Huh. That's interesting. Oh, that might make him really. I would like to see that. Okay. So yeah, so we have Val. So apparently her name is Val. Moving on though, we get another shot of the Star Wars Supper Club / Upper Crust nightclub, and again you can see though the apparel that they're wearing here is definitely more upper class. Definitely high society. I think is definitely implied here. I don't think you're going to see very many maybe scum and villainy, but it's high priced. Well-to-do scum and villainy, perhaps. Again, kind of Canto Bight-ish, if you will, to go back to The Last Jedi a little bit. What do you think, Brian? Anything else?
No, I was just amazed. I'm going through this through this list of names and stuff. We got Mud Troopers.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I was like, ooh,
Mud Troopers, and then apparently the robot's name is L337.
L337. Okay, very good. Cool. All right. So next up, we get another. So here's the more close-up shot, or another shot of our singer, and you can kind of see again. There's that green floating head. So my theory is one or two things is happening. Either she is controlling the green dude,
Okay.
and through her little modulation voice,
Mhm.
or maybe he's singing through the liquid, and the only way it comes out is through her little piece as well that she's wearing. So maybe it's some sort of collaboration, because they look like they're doing a duet together of some
It
kind.
could be. I mean, or it could just be a duet, and she's singing through one mic, and he's singing through the one that I thought was the Flash logo.
Right. So maybe it's just we'll find out obviously, but that's just the theory we're kind of throwing out there.
And ivory.
Except this time it would be emerald,
Emerald and
ebony and emerald. So there you go. But yeah, so that's just one theory. Next, so here we go. We see Kira, and looks like in this high society nightclub, supper club, whatever you want to call it. And so is she actually some sort of royalty, or is she some sort of senator, imperial senator maybe, or what's her background, or is she part of a con maybe?
right. I don't know. I don't know if she's at this point. I think I brought this up before. I think that Han and Lando and Chewie are in the L337. I think they're all part of a heist or something, or a group,
Yeah.
right? And she is at this dinner club or whatever,
Okay.
but she recognizes Han,
Picks up that there's a con going on.
right? Because
yeah.
she recognizes Han because she knows him,
Right.
right? Because she went one way and Han went the other. You know what I mean? Like they were two peas in a pod, but
Right.
one went
One
upper society, and the other one went into the
smuggling.
yes.
That could be, or is she, or is this kind of dirty, rotten scoundrels, and she's pulling a con of her own, and
I don't know.
hard to say. But yeah, that's very possible. Or maybe she's with Lando, and Han's with Tobias and Chewie, and maybe that's how it all happens. I don't know, but yeah, there's definitely some cool plot point ideas kicking there. So. This is to me so far. This is the actor about as close as I've seen him to Harrison Ford's Han Solo. When he gets in trouble or something, he smiles that that grin, that classic Han grin, or not even when he's in trouble, just when he's trying to be cocky.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
What's funny about this is he even has the mannerisms down afterwards. That when he knows he's caught.
Yeah.
So like he gets that grin, like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden he kind of freezes, and you can see his like all shit face. He does it perfect in that scene.
He does. He really does. He pulls it off well.
It's like, ooh.
And for all the worries I've had, that everybody said about this guy and his portrayal, and even I've had my worries, and I still have them, but this puts me at ease a little bit. This whole scene did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Next up. So here we go. Here is Lando being Lando, and I like this. I like his poise. I like how he's holding his hand. To me, this is the card game. I think this is the Sabat game that Lando loses the Falcon to Han Solo in, and I think this is that setting.
Well, I wonder if this is. To be honest, I don't think this is that game.
Okay, you think it's a game?
I think it's a game of Sabat
Okay.
that Han loses
Oh, okay.
really badly
Okay.
to Lando. For that Lando later on,
Gets him to join him.
no, that Lando later on thinks Han Solo really sucks at Sabat, but it was just a con,
So Han could get the
and so that Han
Falcon.
could get the Falcon.
from him.
Like a playing like a
Yeah, a con.
I've never played this game before, and he goes, oh well, I'll bet you this, and blah blah blah. And he takes all of his money. He's like, I'll get you next time. He's like, sure you will. So the next time comes, and it gets down to the last thing, and he's like, well, I'm going all in. What do you got? Well, I'll put up the Falcon. You couldn't beat me.
Yeah.
And then and then he's like, straight flush or whatever Sabat is.
Idiot's array.
Yeah.
Copy. That would be cool. I like that idea too. But I definitely think this is a card game of some kind, if not the card game.
Yeah.
And we can see more evidence by that by the next shot. And you can kind of see it's the darker surroundings. Looks like you got some aliens. And then obviously standing around the table and then standing right there, it looks like Han walking in on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Standing there in that,
which we were talking
Han Solo-esque looking way.
Could have been the picture.
Up for a poster?
The poster for the movie.
That'd been that badass. It'd been a great teaser poster. It really would have. Not that the Solo thing wasn't cool, but that would have. Yeah, I agree, Brian.
Yeah, I like this better. I like this better than all the other posters.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I don't mind the other posters because they almost look like bounty. Like they almost look like wanted posters. The way that the edges are kind of
Wrinkled
and burnt a little bit, like the old Western.
Right.
But I think this, if you frame that in just perfect, that would have been the perfect
Well, sure.
Solo trailer because everybody would have been like, just like you said, that's where he won the Falcon.
That's where he won the Falcon.
Oh yeah, he won the Falcon there,
And the other thing, it wouldn't have mattered what he looked like because he's standing like Han. That silhouette screams Han Solo.
Yep.
Just the way he's standing. So I agree with you. It would have been a great teaser poster. Missed opportunity there, definitely. All right, so here's a interesting look of what was it, L337?
L337, and this is the one I was telling you. Like when we talk about the other one, this one makes not so much look like
Alpha. Yeah,
it makes it like its own robot. And it's really funny when you think about it because it is a girl voicing this.
Yeah,
you can tell. Look how much bigger the chest is. On this robot as opposed to like C-3PO is straight.
Yeah.
All the other robots are real straight and they're all male voices.
Yeah.
And then you got this one's got like a
feminine qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd leave it to Lando, right? But I like how they're both doing Lando's signature like little wave.
Yeah, they both do the
yeah,
like the two finger.
And so this is how Lando pilots the Falcon because up till the Last Jedi, it takes two people to fly the Falcon. Mm-hmm. So that's his co-pilot.
Yep,
it's this L337. So the next shot is just kind of an extension of that last shot. The only thing to point out here, obviously, other than the iconic light speed, is in the background of the back chair is Han Solo. It looks like so Han is not in the captain's seat here.
He's a passenger.
He's a passenger, just kind of taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was kind of a neat shot.
Yeah.
Next shot. So this is, at first I was like, who the hell is that? And then I took a look, and sure enough, it is Kira, aka Khaleesi.
Yeah.
But Kira kind of looking very, what's the word? Upper class, looking very much like a baroness. I think Aaron called her.
Yeah. She looks very important. Like she's gonna get like she's going to some kind of like the dinner club or whatever. Like,
right.
But you can tell it's L337 behind her, so
right,
she's already met Lando at this point.
Right, she's coming off the Falcon.
Right, so it makes you wonder: is this part of the
con?
Part of a con, yeah.
Yeah, like she's dressed up almost like an imperial, like a galactic senator, imperial senate.
Yeah, I was saying she looks more like one of the higher ups inside of the military.
Oh yeah. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I'd say she was a general, or I would say she's possibly a Scythian. Just the way she's kind of dressed. She's got like that whole thing kicking there. So
yeah, with the black and the red.
Yeah, like because it's no longer canon, but like Mara Jade, which was originally Luke Skywalker's wife before they threw it all to Legends. She was the hand of the Emperor, and if there was a hand of the Emperor, I'd expect her to look kind of like that. Maybe not so much blue, but more black, but still. Anyway, moving on. So here's the shot where we all kind of went, "Holy shit, who's that?" Kind of looks like Darth Vader, a lot like Darth Vader when he moves, except he's firing a red blaster.
Right.
I think you said you thought it looked like his red saber when he's moving with. And when it's in motion, I did too.
Yeah, like when I first saw it come through, you can see the cave. You can see the cave. It was dark black. It looks like his helmet maybe, and it almost looked like because it went so fast. It almost like his lightsaber was turning on.
Right, he was igniting it.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I thought too.
And then when you go back and
you took the still frame of it.
Yeah, and you're like, son of a.
But yeah, very cool. I think you also said you thought this might have been Lando in disguise, Brian.
Yeah, because if you look like underneath the brim of that hat,
yeah,
almost you can almost see the mask that he wore in
Jedi Return.
Jedi when he was in
Jabba's
Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
It almost has that same kind of
Similar feel and look.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see him doing something like that, like a little throwback or flash forward. But. All right, so here's another shot of the cool ass shot of the Star Destroyer coming through whatever this is, fog, mist,
Chasing
black
the
hole,
Falcon.
but the Falcon is definitely being chased by them. At talk about another scene that would have been a pretty badass
Poster.
teaser poster. So this is very cool. So obviously the Falcon is on a what I still think is part of the Kessel Run. Could be wrong, but it's definitely badass looking. And if we move on to the next shot, this is where we'll get a little bit more of a breakdown on our new TIE fighter. So, and you look at this TIE fighter, you'll notice that you can see the cockpit, and then that extra nods, you can see there's 2 green laser bolts coming out of it. So to me, I think that this is a TIE fighter with souped up weaponry. So it's got 2 extra large laser cannons on it. I think that little node is actually 2 extra laser cannons, and if we go to the next shot, you can see it a little bit more clearly. So here you can see it's already fired 2 shots, and 2 shots are getting ready to fire next out of it. And then if you go to the last shot, which is the closest shot I can get of it, you can clearly see what looks to be, not only do you have the cockpit with the red where the pilot's sitting, and then next to it, it looks like there's 2 cannons on the node itself.
Right, which I was thinking about it, and my guess is that they're not regular cannons, like they're not your usual cannons that you would see. It's some kind of souped up cannon that is built like onto this. And it's funny is when you're watching other Star Wars, the green shots usually only come from the Star Destroyer.
Well,
Typically.
the TIE fighters actually have green, but
Do they have
yeah,
green?
they do.
Oh, because we were just watching Rebels earlier, and I was trying to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what I thought. Like maybe they because we in the Last Jedi, we saw where they took the cannon from the Star Destroyer and put it on the ground.
Yeah.
And was pitching towards the door. So I thought maybe they
something like that.
Yeah, like a miniaturized version of whatever, and they put it on the.
Well, I definitely think it's because it's got its own node. I think it's definitely something more heavy duty than your standard TIE fighter blasters.
Yep.
On it. So yeah, it's so we definitely, I would imagine that this is maybe the main Imperial bad guy ship, because like Vader had his own iconic ship. This might be whoever the Imperial villain is. This might be his ship, his or her ship, I should say. Says we're not sure yet. All right, so moving on. So this is just a really cool shot of them on the Kessel Run, and you get to see that at this point Han's piloting and Chewie is co-pilot. So just a cool iconic scene of the 2 finally together flying the Falcon, probably for the first time, would be my guess. So this is the awesome scene where Han uses the Falcon itself and actually takes out a TIE fighter with it.
Yeah, it's like a ping pong battle and just hits the thing up against a rock.
So is this where the Falcon starts to get its first scrapes from Han and his reckless piloting?
Yeah, I think if I remember this correctly, this is where it actually loses its first satellite dish.
Actually, that's coming up.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't remember, because I thought one of these was where it loses its first satellite dish.
Yep, we've got the spoiler alert on that coming up. But so this is where, he's just using literally the hull of the Falcon to take out.
But yeah, he's obviously starting to get some damage.
Right, so Han's already putting some scars on Lando's beautiful, pristine Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this shot because it shows you got Tobias in there as well. Han, Chewie, and they're looking at something very ominous. This is right after, Han's like, well, I thought we were in trouble, but we're okay. We're okay. I think we're going to be okay. And then suddenly, what the hell is that?
I'm not sure that's the same scene.
It may or may not be. It could be spliced together. You're right.
I think it's spliced together. The only reason why I say that is because Tobias is in this shot.
And not Lando.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing I like about this shot, though, it reminds me of Empire Strikes Back, when you have, except instead of Kira, it's Leia, you got Chewie, and 3PO, and they're all kind of looking out it's that same kind of iconic shot to me. I think they're looking for the wombat at the time, but in the belly of the beast, so to speak. But from Empire. But yeah, so very reminiscent. But you're right, Brian. It may be a completely different scene. Next up. So this is where we get our first real look of the Space Kraken.
The Space Kraken that has electric coming out of it.
Yeah, it has electric apparently coming out of, maybe because of the atmosphere or whatever they're in. To me, it kind of reminds me of the Falcon flying through the teeth of the worm in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, very reminiscent of it.
Yeah, and you get a better shot of the close-up there. And there you can see that Han's kind of flying through the teeth, so to speak. But in this case, it's just tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of cool. Very cool looking, actually. And then our last shot, this is our big spoiler alert. We're going to end the show with the spoiler alert. How does this Falcon lose its satellite dish, which is actually a satellite dish which is actually bent down onto the hull itself? Well, looks like, spoiler alert, looks like it gets hit by a tentacle and takes out the satellite dish. So that is our spoiler alert for you. So it's the tentacle itself of the monster takes out the satellite dish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Brian, that is our review of both of these trailers. I certainly hope the computer works this time and we're able to post this one.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've gotten the problem straightened out. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me and doing this again.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah.
I love talking about Star Wars.
And, this is, real quick, where can you find us again? Social media. ForMidwestGuys.com. If you're on Twitter, at ForMidwestGuys. Brian, they can find you where? At EggZone, I believe.
Yeah, at EggZone on Twitter and at _real_Ank on Instagram.
And you can find myself at bwilly1977. So make sure you check us out if you like, especially if you like this podcast. Like, follow, and subscribe to us on our social media, and leave us some comments. The website itself is actually designed to leave comments. We'd love to hear some feedback, whether it's on the website itself, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Just reach out to us, and we would love a little bit of fan action. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what you like more, and what you like less of. Definitely looking for some real solid feedback, especially now that we have the studio, so to speak. And I'd like to get some people's ideas and some thoughts of what they liked and what they didn't. So
yeah. All
right. Well, with that in mind, we will catch you next time. And as always, may the Force be with you always.